Hey, pass me a beer.
I think if we dressed you up in some scantily clad clothes and knee-high boots.
Look, at least promise me you won't drink. Alcohol always leads to trouble.
I am very good looking.
Especially with a bra.
Hey, who wants to play Drink the Beer?
Right here.
You win.
All right, what do I win?
Another beer.
Choo.
Just have a cup of coffee.
There it is.
According to Wikipedia.
Coffee?
Beer.
All right, we get. I want to get this thing rolling.
Rolling. Keep rolling.
I'd kill for a beer.
Cheap beer and a sympathetic ear. Step right up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Bearded Hops podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, you think we have ladies listening to this thing?
Oh, I'm sure we have ladies listening
I
to
hope
this.
so.
You better have ladies listening to this. Anyway, I am Chad up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. A.T. Adam, down in Chicagolands.
Woohoo! It's cold. We're freezing, but we're gonna thaw it with some beer. So, yes, we're gonna sample some good beer tonight. We are back to doing the same type of beer tonight. So, we had some discussion this week about how to move forward with this, and we're gonna try harder to do the same beer every time. I went out today at 12:30 in the afternoon, special run to the beer store to try to get a beer that Chad had, and I failed. So then Chad had to go back out and get the beer that I had.
Yeah, and I almost failed.
You almost failed. Right. Do you realize, people, what we're doing for you? Do you understand the sacrifices we're making?
Yeah. Yes, I did make a special trip into Green Bay. I live outside of Green Bay, so it doesn't take long. It takes about 15 minutes to get to the beer store where I go, which is Ridgeview Liquors in Green Bay. Shout out. Great little beer store, liquor store. I've been there in the last 2 times I've been there. I've talked to them about the podcast, and the guy, when I walked in tonight, he goes, "Hey, you're the podcast guy." So
sweet. I'll get us some beer.
Yeah. So I'll keep building that relationship and see what happens. But he's a really cool guy. He gave me some good suggestions on some other beers to try when I couldn't initially find what we're going to review tonight.
Yeah. So tonight we are going to be doing a Bourbon Barrel Quad, a barrel-aged ale by Boulevard Brewing out of Kansas City. I'm looking forward to this one.
I am too. This brewing company's been around for a long time. 1989 is when they started, and they've got a plethora of beers available at their facility. I think they've got, if I counted them up, 10 year-round beers. They've got 14 seasonals, 7 in the Smokestack series, which is described as a collection of bigger, bolder, more complex beers. These delicious higher alcohol offerings are perfect for sipping or sharing. And I read that only because that's where this particular beer falls in their lineup in the Smokestack series.
They describe their Smokestack series as a collection of bigger, bolder, more complex, and delicious. And higher alcohol. Woohoo! Perfect for sipping and sharing. We're not going to share, but they also have a limited release, Chad. We should try to get a hold of some of these limited release ones.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I do have that oak aged lager in my refrigerator right now.
Oh, yeah. I see the Collaboration 7. That's what I went to get today, and he didn't have. He said he should have it. So I will call him next week, and I might be able to get that one. So,
yeah, I think that would be really good too. It's one of their new ones in the limited release series. So also in the limited release, I think it's unlimited, is
Cabernet, right?
Yes, the Cabernet cask.
Yeah, it looks really
Imperial
good too.
Stout, and they have a barley wine called Bundle Up.
Yes,
I would love to try both of those.
That's really
very
cool.
soon.
Their website's really cool. I actually like their website. It's really.
I'm impressed by these breweries that were their websites that they're putting out. The last
two that we've done. Well, actually, last week we looked at two different breweries. We sampled a couple different beers, but they're doing very, very cool websites and very easy to navigate around. It's easy to see what they have, descriptions.
What's great is when they ask you if you're 21 and don't make you put in your birthday.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's just making this so much easier. I don't have to go scroll because I'm old, so I got to scroll to get to the year. It's impossible. So if you're new to the show, this is number 4. Chad, this is number 4. I think we're professional now, right?
We got to be. We're just going to keep going.
All right. This is number 4, and if you haven't listened to any of them, I'll clue you in very quickly as to how we do the show. At the top of the show, we're going to go ahead and crack open this beautiful, it's a really cool label. We didn't talk about that yet either, but this beautiful Bourbon Barrel Quad, barrel-aged beer. We'll pour it into the glass. We'll give it a nice little sniff, and we will talk about it. How does it smell? How does it taste? What we think about it, and then we'll give it an initial rating up front. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about some stuff, and then we'll get through half of this glass, and we'll stop. We'll talk about it again, give it a halfway point rating. Then we'll talk some more, finish the glass, and we'll finally go to UnTappd and give it our final rating on UnTappd. Can we crack it open now?
We can. And let me say as we crack here.
Don't say before we, as we, because I'm not.
As we crack it. Another reason I'm really looking forward to this nice heavy hitter beer is because my beloved Green Bay Packers are done for the season, and I need some good refreshment. First time in 8 years, 9 years that we have.
My Chicago Bears were done before the season started, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, nobody really cares about Chicago Bears.
No, they don't. Not even the Bears fans. Okay, that's a huge head.
Massive head. I've got an inch and a half of beer, and the rest is head.
Yeah, I ended up having to go down to pouring down the side just so I wouldn't get too much head. But it's not really a thick head. It's like dissipating rather quickly.
It does. So yeah, we're going to have to wait just a second before I can take my first taste because mine still looks like that.
That's a lot. You have more head than you do beer at this point.
I obviously know how to pour a beer out, the side of a glass, but I like to see what the beer looks like, at least on a first pour. If you just do a straight pour, how much is it really going to bubble up? So
now what kind of, this is not a stout, right?
No, it's classified as an ale.
So it's just, it's an ale. Okay. Yeah. It definitely has a lighter, I need to turn the lights up in my office here. Holy crap. It definitely has a lighter, it's lighter. It's tan. It's not.
The coloring is lighter. It's not quite translucent. It's got a little opaqueness to it, but in the low light here that I'm looking through, you've got some bubbles rising from the bottom, and you can't quite see through it. But it is light in color. It is not a porter or a stout. It's classified as an Abbey Quad.
Did we already say the ABV on this thing or no? I don't think we did.
Nope, not yet.
All right, so it's 11. Well, there's a discrepancy. When you go to UnTappd, it doesn't where you look. When you go to UnTappd, it says an 11.8, which is the one I like. On the bottle itself, it says 11.2 ABV.
Yep, and the IBUs don't match either.
They don't match either. Yeah, 26 on the bottle, 19 on UnTappd. So I'm not really sure.
Either way, between 19 and 26, it should not be a bitter beer at all. And the alcohol content is definitely up there. So I'm still waiting for a little bit of the head to come down. So I'm going to pour a little more. What are you smelling?
The bourbon.
Yeah.
Right away. It's just like a lot. It really smells a lot like the other bourbons that we've had. Difference here is going to be with the other ones. We've had the coffee notes because they've been stouts. The heavier flavors. This one, I'm interested to see what that ale gives us. So
I definitely smell the bourbon. It's a lighter. If you can put a weight to a smell, it's a lighter bourbon smell to me versus the other bourbon barrel stout that we had the other day.
Get a little fruitiness, a little bit, but not like, I don't know.
Are you smelling or sampling?
I'm smelling. Now I'm sampling. No, now I'm drinking. I'm sick of smelling. Ooh, I like that.
Wow.
That's really different.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot different than when you try the stout. Like this afternoon, I had a Russian Imperial Stout barrel aged for my afternoon beer. And
Which everyone needs. I mean,
which everyone needs. Yeah. I had 2 afternoon beers. I had the Russian and then I had Spotted Cow. So but this is good. I'm actually delighted here.
all right. So as is become our rule number 1 for initial rating, and right off the bat, right off the first sip, what are you going to put this?
3.75 right now. It's gonna go up.
You think?
I will. Because it's 11.2 ABV. I'm gonna get looser as we go. So
I really like this one. I don't love the initial sip. My dog.
is that his tail hitting everything?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I know. Okay. She probably wants a sip too.
My dog would destroy things with their tail, but yeah.
Well, your dogs would devour it in one lap.
Yeah.
So I will go a 3.5 right off the bat. I do really like it. I try, as I've mentioned before, I do try to be fairly conservative on. I feel like I'm just conservative, but I think this it may go up as well. 3.5 to start for me.
No, man, I like this one. I'm just basing myself on this one, but I like the initial flavor of a barrel aged ale as opposed to barrel aged stout. Now you're more of a stout guy than I am, but I do like the flavor of this ale.
Yep, absolutely. I just as I texted or messaged you before we started here, I drank a milk stout from MKE, which is called Polish Moon, before we started, and I checked it on UnTappd, and that gave me a new badge, and I've checked in 85 porters or stouts.
Wow. Yeah. So you're definitely now. Though I did pick up today also by Boulevard their whiskey barrel stout.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good one to try. And I think so. One of the question I was going to ask here, and I didn't even tell you this beforehand, so surprise. The question I was going to ask though is kind of along the lines of what I think I Marco Polo'd earlier today. Was first off, we both tend to drink a lot of beers through the week, right? I mean, typically at minimum 1, sometimes 2 or 3. Today I had 2. Now, if you don't know, both Chad and I, we work from home. So usually, depending on how the day went, around 1 or 2, or maybe even noon, we'll be cracking a beer while we work. But the beer, is there any beer that you had recently that surprised you, that you're like, wow, this is better than I thought? Maybe it's not one that we're going to rate here, but, because we've tried so many. I was just thinking, since we drink so many beers, we're not going to be able to talk about all of them on the show. So might as well just talk about a couple of them you had maybe this week or so, or last week, whatever.
Your question is actually about surprising beer that was...
Yeah, either surprising or you're just like, you can't wait to go back and get maybe, a full 6er of it because maybe you just got in a little, break up 6-pack you got pieced together.
Yeah, I could go both ways with this. I had 2 this week that were absolutely terrible.
That's true. Yeah, talk about that too. I forgot about that. I did too. I had one too. Yeah.
Now the first one I had that was terrible was Lagunitas. Did I say it right?
You did say it right. You did say it right. Lagunitas. Yes, you're right.
Lagunitas. They're hop stupid. I knew it was an IPA. I knew that it was going to be extremely hoppy, obviously by the name of the beer called Hop Stupid. I drank it and I'm like, that was stupid. And
Was it a bomber or was it actually a 12 ouncer?
12 ounce.
Okay.
Yep, it wasn't a huge waste of money, but that was a drain pour. And the other
Was that
one,
your first drain pour? Like ever?
Huh?
Was that your first drain pour ever?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
I mean, I've had some that were not good that I didn't finish, but that's the first one that I drank after the first drink, and I was like, nope, and I poured it out.
Yep.
Now, Lagunitas has some very good beers, good brews otherwise, but that one just was not for me, and it's totally cool. I just love trying all these different types of beers, and I thought when I bought it, I was like, hop stupid. Yep, it's going to be really hoppy, but it was really hoppy. I think the IBU on that was 102 or 106.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then the other one that surprised me this week that I thought I would like, that I didn't like, it was also drain pour. So had 2 drain pours in 1 week. First 2 drain pours I've ever had. I had a saison called Farm Girl from Liftbridge Brewing, and that was another first. I mean, it wasn't the first sip. I think I probably had 2 or 3 sips of that one before I was like, I just cannot do this. So yeah, 2 drain pours in 1 week. First drain pours I've ever had.
What was wrong with the farmhouse one?
I mean, saisons are sours. It's a sour style, and I don't even know that I can really describe the way I tasted it. It's very yeasty. Yeah, I mean, it's you can buy it year round. People drink it year round. There's no way I could drink it. It was just it wasn't even so sour. It just had this very strange, it's not a bitter beer either, because I think it's only in the 20s for IBUs.
Yeah,
so,
they're usually 20s to 35s.
Yeah. I don't know. I cannot describe that taste of that beer.
Hey, have you had other saisons before?
Yeah.
And they're fine.
Yeah, I've liked some other types of saisons, but that one just was not for me.
Yeah, saisons are usually the low alcohol, sessionable, type brews. So, and any good ones this week?
Yeah, I did. I had one today. Matter of fact, Oscar Blues Brewery, Mama's Little Yellow Pills, just a regular style Pilsner. I think that could be a beer that I would have. Like you have Spotted Cow in your refrigerator all the time. I think I could probably take this one and put it on that level where I could I'm not a big Pilsner guy, but this one was really, really good. I gave it a 3.5 on UnTappd, and I mean, 3.5 to me on a beer that's easy enough to drink like that. I think it's 5.5 or something like that. Not quite sessionable, but pretty close. So I could see drinking that one all the time. So how about you? Do you have anything good or bad this week?
Well, I did do a drain pour this week.
Yeah.
I'm going back through my UnTappd. I only had one though. It was the Arvo Tinny. I think it's.
Oh yeah, that Australian thing.
Australian sparkling ale.
Yeah.
The thing that got me about it is like, I mean, I'm not like all legalistic about it, but the beer didn't even stick to the guidelines of what an Australian sparkling ale is supposed to be. First and foremost, it was an IPA. It was 51 IBU. That classifies it in. So when I'm getting this, not thinking I'm getting an IPA, but here I am drinking an IPA. So that kind of ticks me off up front first. But it just wasn't even. It wasn't good. It had a weird off flavor that I didn't really bother drinking enough of it to nail down. At first I thought, well, it's the bitterness, but when I look back at some of the other beers I had, like this week I also had that Space Station Middle Finger by Three Floyds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 50 IBU as well. but yeah, the Australian one I had to dump. I want to try and find a different Australian sparkling ale and see, what that actually tastes like. That was my only drain pour. I'm looking through my UnTappd to see what my highest score this week was. My highest score, of course, was Spotted Cow, just because I love the New Glarus Spotted Cow and I drink it a lot. I had the Drago from Wild Onion Brewery. That was the stout, the Russian Imperial that I had today.
Yeah.
Also tried the Third Coast Old Ale from Bell's, the barley wine that you had last week, wasn't it? On the last podcast?
Yeah, that was one I reviewed last week.
That was good. I gave it a 4. That was my first barley wine I'd really ever had, and that was good. I had that on New Year's Eve.
That was a New Year's Eve beer for you, if I recall correctly.
Yep. And I think, I had the Space Station Middle Finger on the same. I was watching some football over with Jake. We had Space Station Middle Finger over there.
Football.
Still some college left, man. There's some good college games last night.
Yeah, I watched a little bit.
This week I did, I should say this past weekend, I did bottle the red ale that you and I and a couple of our other friends brewed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all bottled up, sitting right over here behind me, fermenting in the bottle. So that's, I think, and while we bottled that, we actually drank Oso's Big O. Chad,
that's right. I saw Jake. Our buddy Jake check that in. Yep.
Yeah. So we had that while we bottled, and I think let's see. I want to wait 2 weeks and crack open a 12 ounce of our red ale and see what it tastes like. It may need to sit a little longer, but but that was mine.
If it does set a little bit longer, I will. I'll be down there.
I'll be
down in the first week of February and try it. So,
and then we'll brew something else.
Yeah.
So that was my weekend beer. I think that's the new segment we should do. My weekend beer.
I like that idea. I was just going to say basically the same thing. Let's go back and review what else we drank, because we're not going to be able to give in-depth review on everything that we drink, obviously, because we're not doing a podcast every single day. So the weekend review is.
We'd like to.
What's that? Even though we'd like to,
because we do talk enough about beer during almost every day during our either Marco Polos or text messages that we could probably do a whole nother podcast. Now, I know that on our Facebook group, Danny asked us to review the Three Floyd Zombie Dust. Have you ever had Zombie Dust?
I have not.
Okay, so then we will. I have one in my fridge now. I was going to talk about Zombie Dust, but I'm not going to talk about Zombie Dust now because you haven't had it. I thought you'd had it, but we're not going to do that.
Nope. I'll look, but I don't think that I have.
Three Floyds is out of Indiana, and they're pretty much IPA heavy. That's what they do. Zombie Dust for a couple years in this area, at least, it was like one of those beers where you walk into the liquor store and you have to ask the owner of the shop if you have any Zombie Dust, because they won't put it out on the shelf. And it would almost get to the point of, if this guy likes you, he's going to sell you a 6-pack. So I had 3 different liquor stores around here, and one of them, me and this guy had a really good rapport. He was a really cool guy, and I bought a lot off him anyway. So I always went to him first. Now it's getting a little bit more, it's out there more. It's not as badly in high demand as I think it used to be, because I can get it now. I mean, there's a 6-pack down at Beer Bazaar where I always go. They had like 4 or 5 6-packs on the shelf. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of check-ins on UnTappd for Zombie Dust. I mean, 500,000. So it's available most places. But oddly enough, I can't. I've not been able to find. I've been to 3 different beer stores and Woodman's, and I haven't been able to find anything by Three Floyds.
Well, what we might do is when you come down in February, we can just run over and grab some, because I think he pretty much always has it. So
yeah,
that'll be good.
That'll work.
Go ahead.
I forgot I had a 5 this week, but it's a recurring 5 for me. 5 Sons.
Casper?
I didn't have a Casper this week. I had I did have a Casper, but I didn't check it in. Just because I think I've checked it in like 17 or 18 times. I had Stone Arch Vanilla Stout, which is
I saw that.
one of my it's one of my favorite beers. I had a spot open in my variety 6-pack and kind of got tired of looking around. So I was like, I'm just going to grab one of those. And I did drink that pretty quickly. So yeah, I had one of my 5s this week.
You might, grab it because you know you like it. Way, you know you're not going to waste money on it. So that's good.
Yep.
So that is our new segment that we just thought of on this podcast of what beer I had this week.
Right now, that's fresh off the press right there. It doesn't get any fresher.
Much fresh than, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we do it this way? All right. So as far as some news, where you at anyway? I'm close to halfway.
Not quite. I'm 2/3.
So in the news, and if you guys, I should kind of preface this. If you guys go to our website, beerdedhops.com, at the very top of the website, you're going to see all the links to everywhere that you can find us. Facebook, Twitter. We're on SoundCloud now. We're on Stitcher now. We're on iTunes, Google Play, all these different places. But if you go to the Facebook page, and you also have a Facebook group. The Facebook group is really for you guys who really just want to talk about beer. And if you guys come across any beer related stories, pop them in there for us. We would love to have them because we just we have like a little spreadsheet here in Google Docs. We just kind of throw them in throughout the week, and that's kind of where we come up with them. So if you guys find them, let us know.
We get a lot of our news from several different newsletters. So well, obviously we're not reading all of them. We both have day jobs. We can't just read beer news all day long, although I'd love to.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so we can't read everything. If you see it, it's interesting, throw it on the Facebook page. We'll grab it and talk about it.
So since we're almost at the halfway point, we'll do a couple of these quick little stories here first.
Yep.
A couple of the quick ones, and this is just a funny one, just because I thought it was funny. And of course, all the links to these stories will be in the show notes on the website. But the Hansen family, and I remember Hansen, right? MmmBop, the 3 guys with long hair.
Bop, 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 doo wop.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that. That wasn't going to be me.
I can do some very good impressions, and that was spot on, Hansen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I should have done a little higher.
Go for it. Go ahead. You got to do that chance. Go ahead.
Bop, 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 doo wop. Skid it up, stop, doo wop.
That's horrible. So what? Do they have their own?
That was more. I don't know what I was really doing there. That was not really singing. That was kind of like.
I'm trying to help you get away from it. Just move on because I'm not even going to talk about how horrible that was. What? Apparently they're coming out with their own beer.
Wait a minute. This will be a good time to mention. Because you just put it on Facebook today. If anybody has complaints about the show, email Chad at Beerded.
Email Chad. All complaints go to Chad at the complaint department.
If anybody wants to praise Adam at beerdedhops.com.
There you go. Exactly right. So the 3 brothers, Hansen brothers, have their first beer named after them, and it's called Hops.
Hops.
I don't know. That was the crowd. That came to me as funny. I was like, "Are you serious?"
That is funny. They've all kind of grown up, and they've got 3 different lengths of hair. They still kind of look the same, but yeah, Hansen's got a beer.
Yeah, and other quick because I don't really want to waste any more time talking about Hansen. Dogfish Head is now going to be distributing in Louisiana. I don't know why they weren't before.
I think I blocked you. That's Dogfish Head.
That's what I said, Dogfish Head.
I know, but I think I blocked you.
Oh, jerk. Yeah, Dogfish Head. They're going to be shipping their beer to Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. So all those people now can finally enjoy some Dogfish Head. So
some 60-minute, 90-minute sequence, flesh and blood. Good stuff.
I need to actually drink some more of their stuff. It's been a while since I've had a Dogfish Head beer.
Yeah, I had a 60-minute IPA probably last month sometime. I didn't check it in, but I did have it. It's good. I like it.
In sad beer news. Wait, what? What'd you say?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I was just gonna say that my my new dildo IPA glass is gonna be here tomorrow, so we got to review an IPA soon.
Yes, but the glass that you ordered off of Amazon, for some reason, vibrates, and I don't understand why you got one that vibrated.
More fizzy.
More busy. In sad beery news, apparently Summit Brewing, which where's Summit out of? I don't even remember now.
Minnesota.
St.
I wanna
Paul.
say?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I thought.
They're downsizing. They're going to be laying off 10%.
Yeah,
their
that
100
sucks.
people.
I've had several Summit beers. I travel when I travel to the West Coast. I almost always have a layover in Minneapolis. There's the Stone Arch Brewery there, and there's another place that's got a bunch of taps. I think it's Rock Bottom. They, even though they have their own beers, they always have Summit, and there's some good beer. And that's sad to hear that that they're laying off 10% of the workforce, and their workforce isn't very big. Did you say how big it was?
100
people. Yeah.
So now they're according to the Brewers Association, Summit Beer sold 127.5 thousand barrels in 2016. The barrels production expected to decline to about 115,000 barrels, and due to they're stopping distribution to 6 states. Huh?
Yeah.
They lost a brewing contract with Finnegan's, which I don't even know who Finnegan's is.
Yeah, I don't either. An aspiring beer maker. They're going to partner with Badger Hill, a new brewery in Minneapolis. So, yeah, that's kind of shitty. But yeah, they'll soldier on. They'll keep making good beer. Summit's a good place, good beer.
I have no doubt that they will bounce back from that one. So, no doubt. Are you halfway yet?
I am halfway. What do you think?
Thoughts? I asked you first.
Well, it's gotten more bourbony for me. There is something sweet in it, but
Yep.
I can't put my finger on what the sweet.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. I was like, with this sip I just took, there's something sweet there, but I can't nail it down.
I don't know what fruit what reminds me of, but it's definitely, it didn't have that to begin with for me. The IBUs, the 19 or 26, whatever you use, I think is very fair. It's not bitter at all.
Mm-mm.
It is bourbony though.
It is definitely bourbony. That's for sure. I'm getting warm pretty quickly.
Yeah, actually, I can always tell when the first thing that gets warm for me is my ears.
Yep.
And my ears are warm, not just because I'm wearing headphones.
It's good. I like it. So you started at 3.5. What do you say now?
I'm going to bump it up a little, 3.75, just because that I like the bourbon flavor, and I like that there's something subtly sweet coming out of this halfway through.
Yeah, I'm actually bumping mine up to a 4. I really do like this. I mean, I could definitely drink a couple of these. I don't know if I could drink them. I don't know if I should drink a couple of these.
Well, at over 11%, yeah, it's
good though. I mean, I would buy a 4-pack for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's good. Yeah. So
yeah, and I think these do sell in a 4-pack, and you say that because I think where I buy, my little liquor store has got, you can just walk through and as long as it has a single beer price, you can take it out of a 4-pack or a 6-pack or whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure this came out of a 4-pack.
Yep, they do. They all the ones. I think it's the smokestacks here is all come in 4s. So yeah, I'm liking it. I think it's very good. Very, very good.
It's good.
I keep having to mute myself so I can burp. So which one?
What is this story? What is this? Well, never mind. This is. We don't need to talk about AB anymore. Never mind.
Yeah, we're not talking about them. Bastards. Although, okay, sorry, I do have to talk about them because I did read an article today and I didn't actually put it in here. So I can't link to it. Sorry, but if you do Google search, I'm sure you'll find it. AB is actually going to be pushing more into craft. They're only a partial owner of what is that? What is their little craft company they own?
There's well, I mean, not the beer company, but their craft
Beer Alliance.
Craft
right?
Beer Alliance, yeah.
Yes. So they're apparently only a partial smaller stakeholder in that alliance. And due to the decline of Budweiser and a lot of the big eye beers, yeah, everybody's so sad. They are going to be trying to get more out of the Craft Beer Alliance. And basically, people are speculating they're going to go around buying up a few more of these bigger craft breweries. We did talk about last time how they are not last time, but a couple podcasts ago where they did. I think it was them that tried to buy Yuengling, or was that Miller? Either way, I mean, Yuengling being one of the biggest right now is probably prime. Although those guys at Yuengling have pretty much stayed steadfast and strong. They're not selling out. So, but AB is supposed to be trying to make a bigger push into that Craft Beer Alliance.
You know, the Home Brewers Association has been trying to crowdfund a purchase, a takeover of Anheuser-Busch.
I know. I saw that. How much do they have now?
It's like they need to buy it was like $320 billion or something like that. And I think like what, 1.7 million has been pledged or something like that. So there's a long way to go for the takeover, but let's keep pushing if you want to see that happen.
Yes, absolutely. Which other story did we want to hit here?
Well, we talked a little bit earlier today about that the term craft, and the article is craft beer is dead.
Yeah,
in 2018.
Yeah, we can go with that one. Go ahead. You read all the article. I'm going to skim through it real quick because I didn't read it all yet.
Yeah, so essentially, it's not the title of the article is "Craft Beer is Dead in 2018." So, in the period, so what is independent beer worth to you? So, it's a very catchy title to say, what the hell's going on with craft beer? Why is it dead? Well, they're not talking about the beer itself, or the industry. They're talking about the name, craft beer, and essentially what it comes down to is semantics. That the word craft beer never really had an official definition that's been released anyway. The Brewers Association apparently does have a definition for it, but it's never really been put out there for anyone to know what it actually says. And I mean, I understand why because then all of a sudden, if what somebody makes, they think is a craft beer and doesn't quite fit the definition, then they're no longer craft beer. So, I mean, that makes sense to me why they wouldn't want the actual definition to be publicly defined. And the term craft is as essentially, according to the article, it's gotten long in the tooth. So it's time for a new set of words to define what the smaller breweries are producing.
Yeah,
microbreweries to begin with, and then it kind of became this quoted term. So now it looks like they're going to just add the word independent,
which I actually like it. Yeah, I like it because according to the Brewers Association, and I don't have the exact number, but it's all based on how many barrels that you sell. You could remain craft. I mean, for the longest time, Sam Adams called itself the craft brewery. And it wasn't until I think the Brewers Association came up with this, line in the sand that said, okay, if you're selling over this much, you're not a craft brewery. So then Sam Adams stopped doing it. What the article talks about, this is an article from Paste, which will, again, of course, link everything in the show notes. But I like the idea of independent craft brewer or independent brewer because, like we talked about, I think it was on our first show, is know where you're buying your beer from. And so if it's a independent brewer, then I don't have to pick up my phone and try to find, look up who owns the brewery.
Who owns this? Who's actually getting the bottom dollar?
Now, just as I say that, as those words come out of my mouth, the thought goes into my head, well, what's to stop AB InBev from putting independent craft brewer on something that's in the Craft Brewer Alliance? So I don't know if there's any governing body that can keep that from happening.
Nope. I mean, if they meet the criteria of the new seal, I guess we'll call it, then sure they could stamp it on there. Certified Brewers Association Independent Craft. Yeah. Then interesting.
I still have to pull up my phone and search.
Yeah, but I also note in this article, and this is kind of cool. Yuengling being one of the largest breweries in the United States, number 3 or 4, something like that. They haven't sold out to anybody. So, really, essentially, even though you can get Yuengling pretty much anywhere in the eastern half of the United States, southern eastern half of the United States and the East Coast, they are an independent. So if you take that independent craft brewer term and apply it to Yuengling, it fits.
But that would then mean Sam Adams is too.
Yep.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, what Sam Adams, the company itself, did for beer, you really got to give it to them. They brought kind of craft beer to the masses with.
Oh yeah. Yep.
For a long time, everybody's like, I don't want to try that Sam Adams. But when the craft beer swing came into it, Sam Adams was one of the first ones you could get just about anywhere. So, Yuengling. Oh man, I haven't been able to find it around here yet, but
yeah, I can't get it up here.
Yeah, when I do find it, I will buy whatever's on your shelf because I like it. Yeah.
So, real quick, the beer that we're reviewing tonight is in this article. Not the beer itself, but the Boulevard Brewing Company is in this article.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's owned by Duvel Mortgat, which is Duvel. I think was the name of one of Boulevard's first beers. I may be wrong, but they did partner with Duvel just recently, 2014, I think, something like that. But Duvel, that family owns. They own a collection of I think they call them artisanal breweries that convey the craft brewing art. So, well, I mean, there's only a few breweries that are owned within this family, but that's Boulevard Brewing is a part of Belgium. Duvel Mortgat.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. They were
Mortgat.
Yeah.
So it does get a little shady. A little. I mean, the lines are blurred, even though Boulevard Brewing, Kansas City based family. The guy started it back in 1989. Worked his ass off to get it to where it is today. Yeah, he did partner with somebody, but I think when you partner with the right person or family, it's not a bad thing.
Did he partner or did he just do capital investment? They're acquired by a private capital firm. I mean, look, it's always going to be great because you gotta believe and know that no matter how the beer association, the brewing association, whatever they're called, no matter how many times they, try to kind of move these terms around to make it easier for the consumer to know that they're buying something from an independent guy, not one of the big guys. The big guys are going to find a way in. And there's really, Budweiser could really put independent craft beer on Bud Light if they want to. There's nothing stopping them. Right? I mean, they're not going to get penalized. They're not going to get fined. It's just.
The Brewers Association is not a regulatory
Right. So
regulating. So
other than getting completely mocked and lit up on social media, which I'm not even sure they care too much about. I mean, I'm sure ABMF doesn't want to do that right now anyway, because it's not selling. But yeah, there's nothing to stop them. So my dream of having to not pull out my phone, I'm gonna have to wait on that for a while, I guess.
I do want to correct something I said, because the Duvel being one of Boulevard's first is not correct. They did a pale ale as their first beer. What I read was back in 1984, one of the beers that captivated the guy who started Boulevard, which is John McDonald, was the beer Duvel. One of the most famous and iconic beers of all time, according to their website. I've never
Episode
heard of it,
4, and you're already doing fake news. My goodness.
I know.
It's just
as bad as the man in charge.
Oh, that's horrible.
So anyway, that article's pretty good. Take a read. You know, it's way too long to talk about the whole article here on a 45-minute, hour-long podcast, but it's a good article, and it'll be in the show notes.
Linkification. Our next story comes from probably one of our favorite sources right now, Brew Studs. We are brewstuds.com. And they have made, when I saw this, I was like, this is really, really cool. The cutoff is what they call it. A list of imposter craft beer brands.
A cutoff list.
You are cut off. Now, I'm sure
there's some
good.
There's at least one on here that I like.
Which one?
Kona.
Yeah, we talked about Kona. Yeah,
as we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so I know definitely a couple of people who are in our Facebook group actually won't like this, but the Goose Island, they were acquired in 2011. They're on this list, as well as Kona, Red Hook. You know, really, it's actually not, nobody on here popped up was like, what, really, them? Like, these are ones we kind of already knew. They also have a Canadian brand who are cut off, websites who are cut off, breweries beware. That's pretty funny. They have Good Beer Hunting on there. It's been cut off. Nice.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
Hope we don't show up on their list.
Yeah, I hope not. We love Brew Studs.
Yeah, don't cut us off.
It is. I mean, all the beers on this list are under AB InBev, the high end division they call it.
And these are all former, well, like we did our last story, independent craft breweries.
Mm-hmm.
That got, and there's another one I like right there, Breckenridge, the Snowdrift.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not them.
No, not Snow.
That's Chinese.
They do a vanilla porter, but Leinenkugel's is the Snowdrift.
I do like the Breckenridge vanilla. I have that in my fridge right now. But
yeah, I just had a Breckenridge recently. I forget what it was though.
I didn't cut them off. Should have, I guess.
Cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was kind of a funny list. I mean, it was Brew Studs. The 2J email that came out was their 2017 year in review, and this. I mean, I think they kind of have a little bit of fun with some of the stories that they covered throughout the year, and this was a good one. The Cutoff Politician Watch next batch. So we got a cutoff list of politicians coming, I think.
They do have a submission link too. I didn't actually click on it to see where it takes you. They do have a submission link where you can submit beers. I mean, I could probably send them the entire flowchart from some beer, and they would be able to get a lot in there.
Yep. Yeah, the submission link is just a name, email, and a message to give them some information. Yeah.
Very nice. Very
so,
nice.
Yeah, quick funny story. I thought that was interesting enough to talk about just for a minute.
How much more you got?
I'm 2/3 of the way down, maybe 3/4 of the way down. How about you?
3/4. I got a little. I got like two more left. Two more left.
I'm a little ahead of you.
Now, Dunkin' Donuts. You see that story? I love me some Dunkin' Donuts.
I didn't click on this one yet, so I'm going to go there right now. This will be the first time I'm seeing this story. So, what's up with Dunkin' Donuts?
So
Donkeys.
This is from, and you know, I do my best to get from only top name resources, thefreshtoast.com. I don't freaking know where it came from. It just came up and I found it. Dunkin' Donuts is making craft beer now. That's what the headline is. Okay, so I set up Google Alerts. Have you used Google Alerts before?
I have. I shut them off, but I've used them before.
Yeah. I set up Google Alerts to do craft beer and craft breweries. And that's where I'm assuming that's where this came from, because I never have gone to thefreshtoast.com on my own in my life.
Thefreshtoast.com.
Right. I mean, there are other stories on the site here that is recommended for me, which I don't know how they would know this, but 5 U.S. nude beaches where you can be naked this summer. I mean, obviously.
Well, a related story for me on this website is Canadians already spend as much on cannabis as they do on wine.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah.
So
it's going to be as much as they do on Molson, but okay.
So what does Dunkin' Donuts have to do with independent craft beer?
Well, Dunkin' is selling a lot of products. They're known for their coffees. It says they're in battle with the likes of Starbucks. I guess they are. Their donuts, which are just not really that good. But they're going to be dipping in with craft beers, collaborating with local breweries on limited release beers. I'm assuming we're going to see a coffee stout here. Is that where we're going with this? I think it's.
I would imagine. Something tells me.
Yep. Dunkin' Donuts' first experiment with craft beers was through a partnership with Catawba, Brewing Company. They did a collaboration of Dunkin' Pumpkin Brown Ale. It was included Dunkin's cold brew, and then their famous flavoring agent. When you say a flavoring agent, that doesn't make me feel good.
No, me either. It's a very, very loose term. I mean, it's I mean, how much of it's artificial?
All of it. It's an agent.
An agent. That sounds. Yeah. That sounds lab grown.
Yeah, exactly. Dunkin' has since partnered with Wormtown Brewery in Massachusetts. They're working a collaboration featuring a Dunkin's dark roasted brew in a style of stout beer. It's supposed to be released December 21st. Well, we're past that. Huh.
Yeah, what's up?
The article. There's not much.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, there's your Canadians already spend as much on cannabis as they do on wine link. I see that now.
I was very curious about Wormtown Brewing because I didn't look at this article before, but they're in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Is that Dunkin's headquarters in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I think they're in Massachusetts. I don't know where. I don't know if they're in Worcester or not, but
Google says Canton.
Camden? Canton? Camden?
Canton. I think this 11 ABV is getting to us.
This website for Wormtown is
poop on a stick.
I don't really like it. I'll figure this one out later.
I think I'm going to subscribe to thefreshtoast.com.
You go for it. Let me know how that works out for you.
I'm not. Well, they have a whole headline for cannabis. Like they have a whole section on cannabis. Wow. Okay.
Can't you still be arrested for that in Illinois?
I'm not in Illinois. What are you talking about? I'm in Colorado.
And I'm in Washington State. I work for a company in Washington State.
You could be in I work for a company in California. There we go. So I'm good. But this is totally off the edge of this. But speaking of cannabis, did you see Mike Tyson's buying 40 acres of a cannabis farm in
I
California.
heard I didn't read an article about it, but something news thing popped up for me.
Thanks to the
Yeah,
Fresh
I saw that.
Toast, thefreshtoast.com. I heard about it earlier, but I of course didn't read it either. But it's going to be called Tyson Ranch. Of course it is.
Really?
What else is it going to be called? It's going to be it's forecasted to be worth. Oh wait, no, sorry. The state's recreational marijuana industry is forecast to be worth $7 billion by 2020. So he's jumping in early so he can start planting that stuff.
Damn.
Jeez, dude. Get a face tattoo.
He's looking old. He's looking old.
That face tattoo is just hideous. Just horrible. I'm going to drink the last
I don't
sip of
know.
my beer.
It's never going to wash off either.
Nope. They never do.
So as we taste as we drink the final sip here, we didn't really talk about the reason it's called a quad. So we probably should have brought that up in the beginning of the podcast when we were talking about the beer. But
yes, this is a
quad
barrel quad ale.
Yeah,
but you can explain it better than I can. Go for it.
So the quadruple is in the class of Abbeys, and in Abbey there's a double, a triple, a Trappist, and the quadruple. So the quadruple under the category of Abbey is Belgian. It's going to be a Belgian style beer that has an alcohol by volume of 10% or more. There's quite a bit more that goes into it, but we were talking before we started about how, what does a double mean? Is it like double the regular, and a triple is like triple the regular? Well, that's kind of become very convoluted over time, but there are some definitions about where the double, triple, and quadruple fit in as far as percent ABVs is concerned. So if you are drinking a Abbey style quadruple, you will most likely be putting 10% or more by volume of the beer into your belly.
Yeah,
and it's good.
It's very good. Very, very good. So you're done, right?
I'm done.
So where did you end up on this?
That was lovely. It's going to keep on climbing. I'm going to go 4. My final rating on this one's going to be a 4.
4. Yep. I think I'm going to stay with my 4. I may have come out of the gate a little bit too hard, but
yeah, I can't. I just it's not. I would buy it again. It's not good enough. Like anything over a 4, like a 4.25, 4.5, something like that, is something I would buy every time I see it. 4s are just, yeah, that's really good. If I see it, probably buy it unless I see something looks a little better that I haven't had, or there's something a little higher. And when I'm out there shopping, I do try to keep track of what I'm looking at. My history goes on UnTappd, but 4 is where I'm gonna leave this one.
You're leaving it at a 4? You're not going
4
up anymore? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. I think it's
4.0 confirmation. I have unlocked 2 more badges. Woo!
Look at you. There we go. So yeah, if you guys do not use UnTappd, what are you doing? You're a disappointment to us all. UnTappd is if you don't know, is a great website. No, they're not a sponsor. It's an app you can use on your iPhone or your Android, and they you can rate your beers. Basically, helps you keep track of what you have and have not had. And like I've said, I think every show, what I find most interesting about it is today I'm marking this as a 4. The next time I drink this, I can go back and look and say, oh, I marked it a 4, and maybe I'll take a drink and go, why did I mark this a 4? This is terrible. Or we marked it a 4. Like, what was I thinking? It's better now. So I'm going on UnTappd right now and marking it a 4. Going to go ahead and check in. And of course, in an effort to make it a little bit more fun, they do give you badges. I just unlocked 2 badges. Look at that. 3 badges.
Yeah, did you get the UnTappd the stack badge from Boulevard?
I did. I got that one. I got the hopped down, and I moved up on the land of the free badge.
Oh, I moved up on hopped down to level 2.
Me too.
And I'm on level 58 on land of the free.
Hey, me too. Look at that. We're so close.
Oh,
So close. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the podcast for today. Now, as I mentioned earlier, be sure you go to our website because it's where all the links are to everything. So beerdedhops.com. Of course, Beerded is BEERD hops.com.
Beer.
And there you will find the links to everything. You can find us on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher. But then, of course, you can find us on the old Twitters and Facebook. And Chad, what is your UnTappd?
I am Cadillac 907
Cadillac.
on UnTappd.
Like the car, but with
Cadillac.
an H.
Like the car, but with a CH. I do not like Cadillacs, but I do love the name Cadillac.
And mine is Tall Dog Beer. And you can follow us there and see what we are drinking throughout the week. All the beers that we don't really get a chance to talk about here, but we're definitely drinking them. If you guys are on UnTappd, definitely give us a follow. We'd love that. Also, if you have any suggestions, what? What'd you say?
I said, give us a friending on UnTappd.
Friends, be our friends. Please be our friends.
I want more UnTappd friends.
How many do you have? What are you at?
Friends?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do I?
Oh,
Who do you?
oh, not many, because I'm not very popular. I'm just good looking.
Right. Okay. Anyway.
And I've got a good beard.
I got a better beard.
You
I'm trying to get everybody all the information, dude. So find us on Twitter. You can find us on UnTappd. You can find us on Facebook. Definitely communicate with us. Email us. If you have any complaints about the show, those can go to Chad at beerdedhops.com. If you have,
you can imagine where the complaints are going to go after I read them.
And if you have any favorable comments, how much you love this show, how great my beard is, you can definitely send that to me at adam@beerdedhops.com. Chad, anything else before we let everybody go? Anything?
No, I don't have any final thoughts tonight other than to say this was a very good beer, and I look forward to next time. Yeah,
Boulevard Bourbon Quad barrel aged. Definitely do that one. Don't drink this when you have somewhere to go.
Yeah. Drink it and stay, or drink it at home, or Uber, or Lyft, or
when you have a designated driver or something. But it is very, very, very good. I will be having another one. Now I can't wait to try the Boulevard whiskey one. That's going to be good too.
I know. I got to find it. I got to go to another beer store. See what I can find. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Yeah. Do we need a female on this show? I mean, really, if you think about it, like if you have an attractive, the way of the internet really is if you have an attractive female, you like double, triple your followers, your subscribers, or whatever right away, just because you have the horn dogs out there that are going to watch.
That's the way it works at trade shows, man. I do 4 or 5 trade shows a year, and if you got a booth, babe, you're going to get more people to visit.
I think if we dressed you up in some scantily clad clothes and knee-high boots.
I am very good looking.
Especially with a bra. All right. That's going to show up in the intro. All right. Later, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Let's go have another beer.
Let's go have another 2 or 3.